Hello, everybody. Whoop, whoop. How you doing? I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a good Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everybody. And it's a Pride Month special. I'm going to be making a couple of videos here. Well, kind of already started on one. Hold on just a minute. Very professional here, by the way. Started on one already that wasn't a video, but get to that in a minute. Essentially, I had the idea to take a look at 3 different episodes of South Park through the years that dealt with queer characters, queer issues, and give my thoughts on the episodes themselves, give my thoughts on the representation, and give my thoughts on like how far the show has come along in each of those turns. Now, the first one I decided to do as a separate podcast, which was for Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride, and it's Deadpan Diaries 22 Big Gay Al Big Gay episode. Big Gay Al's Big Gay episode. And so I will, you can find it on Spotify, but I will also link it in the description here. But if for whatever reason you can't hear it, I'll briefly go into summary of what happened in that, because I kind of have to establish that because it's Big Gay Al's first episode, and it's kind of important a little bit to the plot we're going to do here. Alright, so Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride is where Stan gets a dog, Sparky, who turns out to be gay. And his fans are razzing him for it. Stan doesn't know how to deal with this, and eventually he discovers Big Gay Al's Big Gay Sanctuary. And at the Big Gay Al Big Gay Sanctuary, he learns all about different gay animals, and he's happy for this. And then he's ready to take his dog Sparky back and try to teach him to be straight. But then Big Gay Al tells him about the history of queer people and oppression and all the stuff they face and how it's important to accept people for being queer. And so Stan goes back and he wins the football game, which is a B plot of this episode, but it's a pretty funny ass B plot. So, if you want, go watch that on HBO Max or whatever. And, or if it plays on Comedy Control. And he gives his message about tolerance, about gay people and gay animals. And that's essentially the end of the episode. And the gist of it is that this was a great way to introduce queer characters in the show. Big Gay Al was a great character. Sparky is a great character. Excuse me. And overall, that's my. Now this took place in 1997, and it took place the 4th episode of South Park, which is pretty crazy to think that was the 4th episode of South Park that already they were tackling an issue of gay characters in the show. But this is a show that kind of pulled no punches from the beginning. But we're gonna jump ahead now, quite a few years. We're going to talk about the next episode I want to talk about. So I'll probably get the little queer characters from Season 5, Episode 2. Aired on June 27th, 2001. And it's, it's a word I don't want to say. I'm just going to say sea fight. Okay, so the title of the episode is different. If you go and look up Season 5, Episode 2, go up, look up June 27th, 2001, you'll see the name, but it's an offensive word in the title. And I don't want to say it. I don't think I have the right to say it either. So, I don't think I should say it either. In any way, shape, or form. But anyway, it's a slur word, so we're not going to say that. But it does have to do with the plot of the episodes. We're going to have to talk about that a little bit. So, basically, this is the episode where Jimmy's introduced. Jimmy's introduced. Jimmy, the disabled kid who is a comedian who walks on crutches and constantly makes jokes and usually makes the running line up. Well, you're a terrific audience. Which is pretty damn funny. And I think Jimmy's a great character for South Park. I'm not really here to talk about him too much, but, just in general, he's pretty fun, and they give him some good stuff to do. And his relationship with Timmy is really weird. And this one kind of revolves around a feud he's developed with Timmy. Which is, it's technically the A-plot of the episode. But it's really not, I don't want to talk about too much here. But it does tie into the main episode, because these plots are tied together really tight. So basically, all the kids join the South Park Scouts. Or the Boy Scouts. They're in the Boy Scouts, and their parents drive, and they're all happy, take them to the Boy Scouts. And then they see Big Gay Al is the Scoutmaster. And the fathers of the kids, like it's Randy Marsh, Uncle Jimbo, I guess uncles in this case, Kenny's alcoholic, white trash dad, and nothing with Kyle, because Kyle's not here for this episode. And Cartman is there, but he has no father, so anyway, they are not happy about Big Gay Al. He's Scoutmaster. Big Al is very flamboyant, over the top, I've never seen the character. He's very stereotypically gay, but I think he's a good character and written well. And yeah, he's a bit ridiculous, but everybody in South Park's a bit ridiculous. That's the thing that I think people have to kind of grasp. That there's characters in the show that definitely act a little absurd and maybe even to the point of offensive, but a lot of times it's because they are written to be the most over the top. And sometimes it works. I think with Big Gay Al it works. Like with PC Principal, it's just shit. Like, you know what I mean? And there's probably other examples you could think of. Like Mr. Mackey's another one. Like I think it works with him. He's the one that's written really well. Chef too, for a while anyway. But so this leads to as they're leaving the camp, the scout meeting. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. So they're in the car, has like kind of messing around in the truck, and there's a part when Cartman makes fun of, says something and Stan makes fun of him. He goes, "Ah, you silly goose." He goes, "You silly goose," and then Randy completely stops the car, and he goes, "What did you just say?" He said, "I just called Cartman a silly." He goes, "No, you don't say that. You're a kid. You call your friend an asshole like a normal kid." And this is a pretty funny part where Zed goes, "You're an asshole, Cartman." And then Randy goes, "That's better." And they start down the way, and you hear Cartman go, "Don't call me an asshole, you son of a bitch." Yeah. And in the episode a little bit before this, Randy was kind of the only one of the three of Uncle Jimbo and of the Kenny. I can't remember his name, but McCormick, the white trash McCormick. Between White Trash McCormick and Uncle Jimbo, he's the only one who kind of is like saying like, "What's the big deal about Big Gay Al being a Scoutmaster?" It's not that big a thing. And there's a part where Uncle Jimbo says, do you really want him to go camping with our kids all weekend?" And so this leads to the scene in the bar. I forgot the name of the bar. You know, it's the famous redneck bar in South Park where they go, "We don't care too much for your kind here." You know that card. "We don't care too much for you, that freaking bar." Anyway, this is where they all start voicing their concerns and keep bringing up the point that they themselves have no problem with gay people, but they don't want them around kids, which is a very obviously homophobic trope of characters of not even characters of people that will say this shit, right? Because you get this all the fucking time. And I mean, I can applaud the fact South Park was very honest in its interpretation that these people exist. They still exist, unfortunately. They existed 20 years ago. And this is their constant thing of like, well, I don't have a problem with gay people, but I don't want them around kids or something. And it's, in addition to this being really fucked up, veiled bigotry that you try to hand wave away with some bullshit that you know isn't even true, it's also just recycled racism. Literally, this is like the same exact thing they did with black people, like in the 60s. Well, before that, was they like, well, I don't have a problem with black people, I just don't want them around kids. You get the thing here. It's just bigotry in itself. It's just like a circle of evil shit and bile. And basically, all the bigots are just like the constant revolving turd burglars going around spreading it. So, but it's particularly, what I'm getting at is, it's portrayed well in the show. And we get another part in this, it's portrayed very well. What about this is, but spoiler alert a little bit, there's a parts of this that have done really well. And this is portraying it the way it's actually portrayed, even though it's a show that's a comedy, it's portraying it pretty accurately to get across as comedy. We get, I forgot his damn name, but the preacher, Father McNally, I think it's Father McNally. He's been in so many episodes, I can't remember his damn name. Father McNally saying that he jumps in with the homosexuality is a sin argument, and that he needs to convert Big Gay Al. He needs to spend some time with him and convert him, which leads to a pretty funny joke where somebody in the bar says, "That's what you said about Mr. Smith, and then you slept with him." Which is it's a pretty funny little line there about how these religious types, in addition to being really fucked up and thinking they can cure homosexuality, cure queers, that there's no reason to cure them. There's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with us. No, there's nothing wrong with us, but they want to cure us, and they themselves are complete hypocrites and full of shit. Again, done really well. And of course, this leads to them deciding they're going to write a letter in the bar. I don't know why I said of course like this. I'm really bad at this. They decide to write a letter to these Scoutmasters, and this leads to Big Gay Al getting kicked out of Scouts. He gets called into the meeting, and this scene is really sad, but also there's a pretty funny part where Scoutmaster basically telling him, "You can't be the Scoutmaster no more. You had complaints," and he's like, he can tell Big Al's heartbroken about this. He's like, "Oh, but I really like this job. It means a lot to me. I love being the Scoutmaster." Like, "Well, I'm sorry, but you can't do it." And he goes, well, what if I just try to like be like not be as gay? Which if you've seen any of Big AL, this is pretty damn funny in like every way. You know, it's just how over the top the character is, and the main Scoutmaster guy just goes like, I don't think that's gonna work. So we gotta get to a little bit of the main plot actually, but the part that isn't the gay stuff, which is the Jimmy and Timmy feud where Jimmy and Timmy aren't getting along. There's a part when Jimmy gives Timmy a hoodie, like Kenny's, and he tries to have him wear it, and he walks down the street and like stuff keeps like bisting him like someone's gonna kill him, which is pretty funny. And this is all building up to a big fight, but we'll get there in a minute. We have to go to like the second act, which we see poor Big AL. Well, we get some weird scenes with Big AL, and they kind of contradict themselves. And this isn't the only time this will happen in the episode. We get one where he's moving out of town. He has this gay dude with him that's playing a piano. I think he's supposed to be like an avatar for Elton John. And he's like, oh, well, how about you play some happy music so I'm leaving town? And he's packing up. So it's portrayed in this scene that Big AL is, although he's upset, he's ready to move on. He's ready to leave South Park and go on with his life. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Also, I know there's a third plot. If you're forgetting, it's crazy how many plots this show has. Reminds me a little bit of Malcolm in the Middle, how I could have like 3 or 4 plots running. And like, damn, how do you even manage that stuff? It's crazy. But like when I booked Journey Arrested, it's hard for me to manage like 4 storylines I'm going. And that's across like 2 shows a week, you know? Anyway. So, yeah, then we get this scene, and like, we get a scene not that long after where Big AL is still in town, still has all this stuff, and he's sitting in his home, looking sad and depressed, watching TV, and the kids come up to him, and they find out the truth that they're upset about, well, hold on, I should, silly Cary, silly deadpan here. Silly Cary, be wary. Is this a Cary, be wary? Yeah, this will be a Cary, be wary. I haven't even decided, but yeah, it'll be Cary, be wary. Be wary. Alright. I'm very wary and I forgot. Gotta go back a little bit. So, a new Scoutmaster is installed. And it's treated to me like he's this tough, manly guy. And he was in the army and whatnot. And we immediately... this is where Mayor should put a content warning here. He starts talking to the kids when they're alone, and he said, when the parents leave to go to the bar. They said, well, we can trust him with this guy with our kids, right? They leave, and then he goes, all right, children, it's time. Now you're all going to do what I say. All right, now everybody take off your clothes, and I'm going to take pictures of you. Yes, this tough, manly, straight Scoutmaster they hired is a fucking pedophile. Ugh, like, just absolutely disgusting. But, you know, again, fair play to South Park, portraying the fact that just because this dude is straight doesn't mean that you should trust him. He could be an evil, vile piece of shit too. That's important because that's what leads to the kids going to Big AL and upset, talking about how they hate their new Scoutmaster. And he asks, why do you hate your new Scoutmaster? And they don't want to tell him because I think he said, like, if you tell anybody, don't tell anybody that took your pictures. You know, typical disgusting predator behavior. But so Big AL tells him that he can't come back to be their Scoutmaster because he's gay, and the Scouts won't accept him. So the kids go on a crusade. They try to get signatures to get people to sign to have gay people allowed in the Scouts. And that's when we get the title of the episode, the Sea Fight. As there's a part where Jimmy's trying to get people to sign a petition, and he's doing some stand-up comedy. He wants Timmy to wear a hat, but Timmy doesn't want to wear the hat. And Timmy and Jimmy start coming to blows in a pretty hilarious way, because the way they come to blows is that it is a almost note-for-note parody of They Live, the Roddy Piper movie. Specifically, the fight with Roddy Piper and Keith David in the alley when Roddy Piper's like, put the glasses on! Put them on! Keith David's like, not today! Piper puts out that great red suplex. Oh, it's so damn good. And this fight is really good. It's like that, but different. Like, you get Jimmy, like, hitting Timmy in the nuts with his crutch one time. Stuff like that. It's just fantastic. And you get Carmen running around screaming, "See, fight," over and over. Which is a pretty funny moment. But just, you know, I don't want to say that word. So, it's just funny how excited he is about this. And also how everybody, as soon as he says it, just goes rushing. Like, all these adults want to see this fight. But alright. So. Anyway. This leads to them getting a petition. Their petition filled pretty easily, and because of this, they have Gloria Allred agreeing to support Big Gay Al in a case against the Scoutmasters. And so, this is, I don't know much about Gloria Allred. she calls these homophobes the Scoutmasters, which they are, and it's kind of like she's a caricature, and it feels like a little insulting. Or maybe she's was a bad lawyer or whatever. I don't know, but like it's like, well, how is she wrong in this? So it feels like, why are we starting to take the piss out of her when she's trying to do the right thing because these people are homophobes? Like there's no argument they aren't, and it leads to like them deciding that in the suit, in the case, we go straight to the courtroom. Big Gay Al's there with Gloria Allred, who agreed to represent him. Remember, very important. And the judge rules that now the Scouts can enter. They have known that the Scouts can have gay Scoutmasters and gay Scouts, you know. And they also decree that the Scoutmasters that were homophobic are going to be put in a stockade and be humiliated for a day or two, something like that. It doesn't really matter because this actually happened. Sorry if we're kind of rushing through this. It's just that this is the part I really don't like the episode. Because we didn't get the speech, first with Gloria Allred, about how it's, you know, everybody, how it's a great day because Scouts now allow, Boy Scouts now allow, you know, gay people in Scouts. And then, being in mind, this was a real issue around this time, important to point out, so this is not like pulled from South Park directly, like, no, this is a thing that happened. And so, like, they were homophobic shit. I don't know if that ever changed. It might have a little bit, but anyway, this leads to Big Gay Al making a very confusing speech that basically seems to go against everything we've seen in the episode, basically except for the scene where he went out of town. Because Big Gay Al says that he doesn't want people to stop supporting the Scouts. Okay, fair enough. He also says that he wants to be treated equally, but he doesn't want to be demanded equality, and freedom allows people to express their freedom by not allowing him in the Scouts. He then says he's going to drop the suit, and that also he says that you maybe shouldn't trust your kids around gay people, even though that wasn't the point. Like he then says he's dropping the suit, and Gloria Allred is mad, and okay. This is just where the whole episode falls apart for me. This is fucking stupid, right? This whole episode was built up on the fact that, alright, there's a lot of like cynicism in the episode. There's a lot of cynicism built into things, like the idea that a gay person is going to hurt your kids, the idea that trusting a straight person isn't going to hurt your kids, that just because they're straight, yet you shouldn't hate somebody because you shouldn't hate somebody because they're gay, you shouldn't trust somebody because they're straight automatically. Neither of those things should be like, you shouldn't just put your trust in either one. You definitely shouldn't hate anybody for their sexuality at all, but that's kind of one of the ideas being pushed here, and the idea of what's another idea? You got, you know, the fact that these adults don't really care about this protest at all until they see something that entertains them. The Jimmy and Timmy fight, which is just funny, like the whole Jimmy and Timmy thing is just like a little side note. And then you get this ending that just feels like very tacked on. It feels very much like Trey Parker and Matt Stone, writers of South Park, when like, you know, we've said a lot of things about homophobia this episode, but what if we went the other direction? What if we were like, no, homophobia is okay, because that's your freedom to be homophobic, and you should be allowed to discriminate people if you want to, because we shouldn't fight for our freedom by using lawsuits or by forcing people to accept us. And it's like... Okay, except for the idea of being completely contrarian, just to piss everybody off, what exactly was the point of this? It didn't suit the story. There's no point in this that suits the story. Because, let me explain something to you. We see Big Gay Al in the courtroom with Gloria Allred. We have to assume at some point the case was filed, and Big Gay Al would have had to agree to the case. But he waits till the case is done, until presumably taxpayer money was spent, and it's all done, it's wrapped up, and then he waits after the case go like, yeah, no, actually I changed my mind. Not to mention him being utterly depressed and devastated about not being a Scoutmaster anymore. There's just so many stupid things, and him saying, and also this weird thing of him like, no, continue to donate money to the Scouts, or a good organization. Like, no, oh my, this is probably the stupidest part, because let's just go with the South Park Scouts, right? We're not going to go around. We're just going to go with the points of the South Park here. Not only did they kick out a man for being gay, something that he has no control over, and there's nothing wrong with, by the way, but on top of that shit, they hired a pedophilic Scoutmaster. They put the kids literally in danger. How the fuck are you gonna? And that, yeah, Big Gay Al didn't know that, but the message of the show writers know that. Trey Parker and Matt Stoner sitting here hitting a big blunt, going, but you know what though? Like, this is my opinion. This is fucking Vince Russo writing. Like literally, this is like fucking. Hey, bro, I got to swear, bro. But what they didn't see that coming, bro. It's like there's no point. It doesn't make any sense. And now there is a payoff to this a little bit because the end of the episode is that the two things that happen really here in the end is that Big Gay Al just straight up leaves. Like, he doesn't leave town, but he's just gone. He's not part of the plot anymore. Like, for the last 4 or 5 minutes, like, nah, you don't matter. The whole episode was, like, half about you, but you don't fucking matter anymore, Big Al. You did your point. You sucked up to the homophobes that made you miserable and treated you like shit. You clearly are not a part of this plot anymore. You can move on. And then, so we have the kids kind of say, like, he gets to him making off and comment, oh, damn it, now we have to have our Scoutmaster. He's going to make us take pictures again. And that's when somebody goes, what? No, we see... I think there's two parts. I don't know why I keep remembering this. Because there's a part when they find out in the bar that he was arrested, and he was known as the counselor who did, or the Scoutmaster did this before, known as Mr. Slippery Fist, which is horrible. Yeah, that happened. And then that's when the parents find out that they were wrong. And they do get a comment from Randy Marsh talking about, like, well, that's why you got to learn you shouldn't trust a straight person. You know, just a person just because they're straight. And also, there's a comment where Big A.L. makes in a speech about how you shouldn't trust your kids around gay people, but doesn't really give any context as to why. Like, that's just like his entire point. It's like, well, then by that context, shouldn't you not trust your kids around anybody? If we're being equal here, like... Yeah, and then the episode ends also with Timmy doctoring some photos that makes Jimmy look gay, so Jimmy gets kicked out of Scouts. The new Scoutmaster is the one that was running the Scoutmaster that kicked out Big Gay Al, if you're curious. And that's how the episode ends, and I fucking hate the end of this episode. This is dog shit. This episode, I still think is a great episode. And if you just take out, like, the last 3 or 4 minutes, it's so much better. Like, maybe, what if you just said have Big Gay Al say something like, let's say you had to come up with this thing. I don't know what you're gonna do about the stupid Timmy homophobic kick out thing there. That's your bullshit. How you could just you never see the kids even go back to Boy Scouts. I don't think anyway. So you could just kept them in there. Who gives a fuck? It's such a stupid payoff for a stupid weak story. That really the fight was the payoff. The fight should have been the end of it. Even if they still hate each other after that, that should have been like that's it for them. And then they're just cool with each other later on anyway. So like, what you could have had Big Al say in a little speech. You could have did a speech scene where he's like, thank you so much for supporting me, and I appreciate that you're going to be more accepting of people that are gay, as you should be. People have to learn, to accept people, and I hate that it led to his lawsuit for this. I hate that it had to go this far. And in this day and age, in the 21st century, that we still are having to fight battles we should have won a long time ago. And he says he appreciates everybody supporting him. And he says, but unfortunately, I don't want to be a Boy Scout anymore. I am happy to open the door for other Boy Scouts, Boy Scout and Scoutmasters who might be gay, but I don't want to be a Boy Scout myself, or Scoutmaster myself rather, because I don't like the fact that these people rejected me. These people hated me just for who I am, for my sexuality, and I want nothing to do with them. And then you could even have them leave South Park. It's like, I'm decided I'm going to leave South Park. I love you kids. Thank you so much for everything, and thank you for your support. Thank you, Gloria already. I'm leaving South Park. And then you just bring it back like a season later. He's there anyway. You don't barely see him that much after this. He's not super important. Like a few seasons later, I think maybe like a full 5 years later, is when you see him again, when he's with Mr. Slave. And he kind of just appears throughout the show after that, every once in a while. But like, he's not treated as a super important character at this point. After this point. This would have been a good way actually to write him off as a character for a bit. And you can just bring him back later. Hell, you can say he came back to South Park because he met Mr. Slade, like, he met him, like, at a bar, or he came to South Park on a trip or something, he met him at a bar. Right? Anyway, talked a lot about this, but okay, so I do think this episode, unlike the first South Park episode I reviewed, like the Big Gay Boy Ride, is very bad at representation at the end of the episode. It starts out with a decent story, with a decent idea of tackling this issue. And then it just like, you had the Vince Russo the shit. You couldn't just take your fucking win. You can take your W. Like, for all the talk about people that they like shitting themselves over, a queer character, so they like to shit themselves. There's a queer character in a movie presented positively, or there's a black character presented positively, or if there's a message in the movie at all, then you kind of equality or anything. Oh, or if the women are treated like equals or something in the movie. No, they gotta like say it's woke, it's woke, it's woke. They're fucking code word for I'm a bigot and I just hate things with people that don't look like me or don't have the same gender or sexuality as me. Right? Right? Okay, for all that bullshit, I feel like Trey Parker and Matt Stone were like themselves going, we made this episode too woke, we gotta do swerve. And it doesn't work. There's no way this works. It does serve the point of the story that you need of the Scouts to still be homophobic at the end so you can kick out Timmy, but what the fuck does it even matter? You don't even see them go back to the Scouts. Like maybe one time you do. I don't exactly remember every episode. But it's not like, it's like a recurring theme here. This is one episode. You have one episode. You could easily do the payoff. You could have Timmy and Jimmy. They're getting along. You could even have this Timmy find some other way to get Jimmy out of the Scouts. Like, maybe he reveals like he was selling weed or something. He wasn't actually selling weed. I don't know. And then you have I think Big Gay leaving town would have been better. Just have him like, he wins his case. The door's open now for another gay Scoutmaster. And Boy Scouts. And now I have to talk about the fact that, because this was a real issue back then, that I still don't even know if it's solved. I probably should research better, but though the homophobia against Boy Scouts and Scoutmasters is a real thing. You would think that they would be a better way to do this story, but no. Disappointing. And also, on top of it, I want to point out too, this whole weird idea that, winning a lawsuit and trying to get people to accept you this way isn't the right way to do things. I don't give a shit. Okay, someone's discriminating against you. Someone doesn't want you at a job because you're gay, because you're trans, because you're not Christian, for that matter. I know that's not queer, but like something like that. Or they want you not in the job for any reason that has anything not to do with you as a worker. It's something as you as a person, you something that you are. Then, in my opinion, then fuck them. They deserve to be sued. There's no fucking recourse here going like, oh, well, what if we try to work our way in the system and we get accepted like by the bigots by not pushing back, or it's like there's like what exactly is the object there? Was Big Gay Al supposed to like beat the Scoutmasters' asses until he got accepted? Like, this is just stupid to me. It's really dumb, right? Really dumb booking. Bad booking for Trey and Matt. You like the episode, but in 5 years after Big Gay Al's first appearance in the show, I know he appeared in the movie, but this is a disappointing service to the character. It's a disappointing service to queer characters, queer people, and yeah, that's about all I gotta say. Let's a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Now, I will try to make another video soon, and I'll give you a brief spoiler. The next episode that we're going to be talking about takes place at least a decade past this episode. And I'm only talking about episodes with gay characters, gay stories. So, as much as there's some interesting things to talk about in South Park as far as trans issues go, but maybe not quite as interesting to talk about it because of how, oh boy, how ham-fisted they treat that, how South Park doesn't really handle that well at all, and for the most part. But I don't want to talk about that because I feel like a trans YouTuber will eventually talk about that and do a way better job than I can. I just want to talk about the gay episodes, or a few of the gay episodes, because there's definitely some I missed. Because that, I feel like I can get my expertise on that, or give my 2 cents on it more so. And in my opinion, this episode, I'll say thumb middle. No, thumb down. We're not even getting thumb middle. Fuck that. Thumb down. No. You botched the finish. It's like watching a good match where you botch a finish. The finish was botched. Fuck you. South Park botched the finish. You had an easy layup, and you said, nah. And, well, that's what I mean. But, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great week, a great day, whatever. And in about, maybe by next week, I hope to have the next thing in this series of this, the third and final of the gay South Park episodes I'm going to be talking about. And I'll give my thoughts on those. And if you can listen to the podcast to hear about more of my in-depth thoughts about Big Gay Boat Ride. And that's also, if you want to watch these episodes, they're on HBO Max. South Park, Big Gay Boat Ride, and Sea Fight, Season 1, Season 5. Go nuts. And bye. Thank you.